So let me talk about Phoenix Wright Justice for All because I completed the game, and honestly this was most probably the best Phoenix Wright game I've played yet. I don't know how Trials and Tribulations was. I was wrong about Trials and Tribulations being the second game in the last video. Sorry for that. But my favorite case is the last case especially, so hang on around for that because that was one of the best cases I've played in this game. Definitely. I also think the third case was really emotionally tolling for me. And I think the game overall continued well from the first game and showed the boundaries and ropes and everything about how the game works, and in a way introduced a lot of new mechanics in a really good way, I would say. So let me talk about the first case straight away. So I'll begin with a few things that this first case has. Alright, like the first case, we have our victim. His name is basically Dustin Prince. We have the defendant, whose name is Maggie Bride, and our defense attorney is obviously Phoenix Wright, and the prosecution attorney is lawyer. I don't know how to put it, but yeah. The prosecutor is Winston Payne, the guy who was in the first game's first case. That's basically who he is. The case has one witness, and his name is Richard Valentin, and we'll be looking at this case. I mean, if there is one witness, it's pretty much we understand who the killer is for the first case, right? So let me just put it simply like this. Alright, Phoenix Wright series, for anybody who doesn't know, it's not about who done it, but rather how done it, because it's more about, you already know the case is killer and everything, except for the last case. The last case really took me off guard, I would say. But this case is more about how done it than who done it, because we already know who did it, and we have known this since the first Phoenix Wright game. So we know who done it for like quite some time. So most of the stuff in Phoenix Wright is all about how the crime takes place and everything, because where the killer is literally in your face. So let's talk about the first case. The first case is called The Lost Turnabout. To put it simply, we wake up in a defense lobby and look at a phone whose haunting ringtone gives us nightmare basically, and we try to answer it, but there's no answer. And then there's this man who comes in who's claiming that he found something and just knocks us out of outgo with an fire extinguisher. So after we regain consciousness, we are greeted by this young lady who's obviously the case's victim, and sorry, not the victim, the case's defendant, and that is Maggie Bride. That's officer, that's a police officer that we have to save, whose case we undertook, and we had promised her and make sure that she's found not guilty. So all that is fine, but we don't recall like who she is or what kind of promise we made to her, and we don't even recall who we are, and we are just like, oh, what is happening? We don't know who we are or what we are, and it's something like that. So this is a good way to introduce this game for newcomers as well, because the game already like has a set judgment and everything for you, and obviously it expects you to know some of the stuff from the previous game, but at the same time they will also teach you the game in case that you don't remember a lot of stuff. It is basically an essential tutorial that you have to play in case you're a newcomer to the series. But why would you be a newcomer to a series without playing the original Ace Attorney game, the first game, you know? So yeah, like in the start we are given an option that whether we want to, like, whether we are ready or not, and it does not matter really whether we are ready or not. Winston Payne will always accuse Maggie of murder, and the judge will always say like we have to continue on with the case because we are the defense lawyer, obviously. Anyways, well, Winston basically takes and accuses Maggie for killing her lover, apparently, who is supposed to be this Dustin Prince guy who is the victim of this case. So he calls in Gumshoe, who is on the stand, and he's basically talking about how Maggie is working under him, and she is basically she's a trainee, and they're like great buddies and everything. And then Gumshoe describes the murder to us and tells us that the murder happened at a park near the police station, in an exposed park, and the victim, one of the local cops, whose name was Dustin Prince, he was pushed down from the benches of the upper part, and the land basically snapped his neck when he fell down. And we get a photo which basically confirms this death scene, this crime scene, basically. And basically we get a few of the things. We also get glasses apparently from somewhere, we don't know where, if we look at the evidence book, because we see like we have the autopsy report, the glasses, and the crime photo. I'm just guessing that the autopsy report and the glasses are from the previous, like, whatever things we are investigating from that, and the crime photo just got added, obviously. So yeah. Okay, so there's a new mechanic in this game apparently, which I think so the first game needed this mechanic as well, which obviously improves the gameplay by a lot, I think so. And that mechanic is presenting photos to people. So yeah, like Gumshoe has his testimony and we have to present stuff to him. He also sends us a second photo, Gumshoe, and we begin our cross-examination. Now the game explains what's cross-examination and everything, and if you guys don't know what cross-examination is, you should watch the first video basically I made on Phoenix Wright, which will be in the playlist, maybe up there in the exclamation mark, most probably, that put over there. And yeah, like basically you have to like get through all of this. Gumshoe has given his testimony. We have to break down his testimony and everything. And this is a new system. This is a new mechanic that the game has added, and this mechanic is none other than presenting the profiles of the characters. This was like in the first game, you could not check the profiles of the characters that are involved in a case in the first game, but in this game you can check the profile of the characters that were involved and present them to the people. I think so you could check the profile, but I don't think so you could present them. I don't remember that well, but like in this second game you can present those profiles to people, and that's exactly what we are trying to do. We present Maggie's profile to one of Gumshoe's statement, which is basically, I think it was saying that it was clearly defendant's name Maggie, which is not Maggie, but Maggie, not Maggie with IE, but Maggie with EY in the second photo that we get. So we present that, and it's impossible if so. Like if what Payne is saying is true, Maggie and Dustin are lover, it's impossible for Dustin to forget Maggie's name, and we just found a contradiction of first contradiction in this game. And the judge is curious about Maggie and Dustin's relationship, so he just asks Gumshoe to testify on that, and he does. He pulls on a testimony here. The Gumshoe says something really weird in his testimony, and that is about something about a gift that Maggie gave Dustin, and basically Gumshoe's like, well, there is this gift that Dustin received from Maggie, and we ask him, well, what was the gift? And Gumshoe basically says it's a baseball glove, and he shows us the baseball glove, which will be relevant for later on. So we have to choose it's relevant, so we can get the baseball glove, obviously, and it's relevant for later on. Trust me, it's gonna get better from here onwards. So this helps us with one of the next testimony that Gumshoe is gonna give, and the testimony that I found contradictory on this one is when he said we found out that there was sand trapped under the victim's fingernail. Well, to be honest, if you look at the glove, it's left-handed, isn't it? So how the hell did he write the thing with his right hand? Doesn't make any sense, right? So like, I went for that one. I think so it was another testimony from this. We could confirm the victim wrote his name from right hand. I don't remember, but one of the two, because both of those was contradictory for me, and I was just like, wait, but you know, his left-handed, so I just presented. I think it was in the right hand. That might have been what it triggered, because the victim's fingernail one was also very contradictory to me, and also the right hand one, so I just said that. So it seems that we proved that Dustin was left-handed and he could have not written Maggie's name, which means the killer could only write the name, and which means that Maggie's innocence was actually proven. But before that, Payne stops us and he says that there's a witness who can appear right after a break that we have. So yeah, it's after the break. After the break, we tell Maggie about her amnesia and everything, and she basically uses our business card, I would say. So that business card contains our phone number, and that's gonna be important. Keep that in mind. So it was like before, she also described what happens basically, and it was like before 6 p.m. that Maggie and Dustin were like walking in the local park when Maggie found a lost phone, which suddenly rang, and apparently the caller had lost the phone that was there, and Dustin so not Nasir, but the caller and Maggie decided to meet up at 6 p.m. or something, so that Maggie could return the phone. So we ask about the phone now, and Maggie says that she gave us that phone yesterday. As soon as she did, my eyes lit up. Apparently, that's what she said. But what does that even mean? I don't understand. And then all of a sudden we see a really familiar face barge in, and that's none other than Maya. He basically tells us that this is a list of con artists apparently, and well, you see where the case is going to go, right? If there is only one witness, we already know who the con artist is gonna be, so let's continue on. So Payne calls on a witness with a very smuggy attitude, I would say. He's so like, I'm the best, baby, kind of attitude, you know, with sarcastic remarks and everything. Well, his name is Richard Wellington. He's the case witness. And obviously there's only one witness, so we know what we're gonna do. So he explains what he saw that day, and well, there's a very contradictory thing in his statement. In his statement, what he basically says is he saw something fall in front of his eyes. And what is a weird thing that he says when he says that, and that's why I went, what? He says he saw a banana fall. Which means we present a baseball glove, which is yellow in color. Remember, this was going to be important, I said it. So, yeah, we basically make fun of this guy saying like, oh yeah, this is our bananas, right? And he's like, oh yeah, he's a banana. And he's like, Wellington is like, yeah, these gloves are we are like to Wellington, these gloves are not bananas. And Wellington is like, oh, what? But I see bananas. And then we'll tell the judge that Wellington has bad eyesight. So, well, there's a funny thing that will happen, that if you choose he likes banana or he knows nothing about baseball, well, he likes banana is a funny response. Don't know about he knows about nothing about baseball, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, like Wellington will admit that his eyes are 2200. That's what he says. So we ask him, where are your glasses? What happened to them? And how did Wellington see the glasses without the crime scene without glasses? And Wellington changes his testimony right after that. So in this next testimony that Wellington does, there is another contradictory thing that he says. He says that he made a call around 6:45 p.m. and right before that, above, he says, after that I immediately called the police station after the crime took place. Like, so those two statements are very contradictory. I went for the one that is, I immediately called the police station to report the crime, because this statement doesn't make sense, because the murder happened at 6:28 p.m. but it took 17 whole minutes for Wellington to make the call. So we asked him, why did it take so long to make a call? And Wellington says that he was searching for a phone booth because he had lost his phone. Well, there is something weird about this, and we talk about it, we question further, and then we choose that there is something weird about the situation. And the judge is like, why did he take so long, and asks us to present the evidence. And the evidence is the first crime photo, the first crime photo. It shows that there is a telephone booth right in front of Wellington. So you just tell him, like, he just had to take a few steps, you know, there is literally a phone booth. But yeah, so we bring up the cell phone we are holding, and he probably killed Dustin to get his cell phone. But the question is, why? If he didn't call him immediately, then what could have he been looking for? And the judge asks us that exactly, and we say they're the glasses, because remember, Wellington has glasses, and well, the glasses were in the victim's body. And we continue on, and then Phoenix basically wants to know why he is wrong, and Wellington basically recalls the victim's name, and we remind him that the victim is spelled incorrectly. Maggie is not spelled M-A-G-G-I-E, instead M-A-G-G-E-Y. So that's the funny part. But Payne reminds us that he did not know anything about Maggie, but that's not true actually, because if you look at the conversation on the cell phone, there is there's this funny thing that will happen, where like we'll look at the conversation in the cell phone and we realize, oh, her name is Maggie, but it's actually a Maggie with EY, not IE. Yeah, it's very confusing. Don't mind that. But yeah, like when he called Maggie, Maggie says her name very clearly, and that's why this guy has no idea about it. So Payne asks us what would be the motive. There could be no motive that Wellington had to kill Dustin. And then we present the name list. The name list contained con artists, obviously. And when asked what Wellington's connection was, the answer was pretty simple. He's a member of the group. And since his phone contained such an incriminating list of contacts, well, he feared that Maggie or Dustin would look into the number and not knowing what to do about anything, Payne basically objects. And he reminds us that Wellington was promised he'll get his back phone. What the hell? He'll get his back phone. Yeah, back phone. So why did he have to do it in such an unfriendly manner? And then we started thinking out of the box and think about why he would commit murder. And we show the profile of Dustin Prince, obviously, because he was wearing a police uniform when the murder occurred, and Wellington saw Dustin, and he must have thought that Maggie had checked the list of numbers and brought a police officer with her to ask Wellington questions about the list. Thinking they ran a check. Basically, he panicked and killed Dustin to keep him quiet. Basically, if that is true, uniform. Wellington killed Dustin because of his uniform, out of all people. So this is like the second time in the game where we're actually using the profile, because profile is a new feature, but this is just a start of it. There's a lot of moments in this game where profile has been used like a lot of times. And sometimes I get really confused on which profile would be the correct one to prove something or the other. So Wellington goes crazy and he wants us to prove whose cell phone it belongs to, basically. When we asked him how to prove whose cell phone belongs to, we choose that we should try the fingerprints. But here's the funny part. Maya tells us that, well, the fingerprints have been wiped out because of the sand all over it. And Wellington reminds you that his phone is right next to him. And we're like, wait a minute, what? And then we ask Wellington that where do you get that phone from? And he's like, well, you don't need to know. And then Phoenix remembers everything. And he's like, oh shit, I remember something now. He was the one who attacked us and got the phone. But there is one thing that can happen. So we raise an objection. And we give the judge the business card, where the judge gives us his business card, which is a very funny scene to me. I had a chuckle there. And then the judge is like, what the hell are we doing, dude? We're doing this case. And then we're like, oh, no. Check the back of the card. And he's like, what's on the back of the card? And then we say, Maya, call the phone number on back of my card. And the ringtone is obviously the Steel Samurai ringtone, which we have. And it looks like Wellington went to retrieve his phone, but he took our phone instead. And hence why Maggie Bright is found not guilty. Whew, what a case for the first time. Like, yeah, the first case in the first game was something. The Larry Butts case was definitely something and fresh. But man, this case is already like 100 times better than the Larry Butts case, just because of how it was it's orchestrated well. Like, everything comes into pieces all together, and the tutorial is pretty well as well, and well as the new function where you present the whole profile thing. I think so the Trials and Tribulation cases will be even better if this is the case. I have high hopes for Trials and Tribulations, but man, this case was something really, really cool, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. So let's also get to the part on what really happened. Richard Wellington, who is claimed to be a first-class university student and a drifting virtuoso, well, he's part of the con group whose names were listed on his phone. So one day he lost his cell phone at Expose Park, which is basically the police station, while Maggie and Dustin, who are just good friends, not lovers or anything, They're good police or good friends, and both of them were like police officers. Went in a park, and Maggie gave Dustin a birthday present, basically a yellow baseball glove that we saw, which suited Dustin's left hand. And as they saw her strolling, they basically saw the lost cell phone and decided to pick it up. Weldon eventually called his cell phone in order to get it back, and Maggie answered and promised him to get his cell phone back by 6 p.m. Well, when Wellington met Maggie also saw Dustin in the uniform, Wellington panicked, and in that he basically killed Dustin. He fought Dustin more like, and he threw him off the balcony. And well, he grabbed his glasses, and well, that went with him down below. Dustin snapped his neck, basically. That is what happened, actually. Maggie ran off, taking Wellington's phone with her. Well, Wellington climbed down to the corpse and spent 15 minutes looking for the glasses, where he gave up and eventually called the police and implicated that Maggie was the one who murdered the cop. Well, that was a case, I'd say. Though Maggie is innocent now, she just blames herself for her death because her name literally is Lady Bad Luck. Shite. That's crazy. Like holy shit. The whole scene is funny to me because she believes that her Dustin's death was also part of her fault because her luck is incredibly bad. However, Maggie always remains strong, and so now she once again tries to change everything, like everything about her life. And we certainly remember everything in our life, that is Maya, Gumshoe, the judge, everyone except Pain, which really makes it even funnier. And we reunited with Maya 2 months ago, and well, that is another case to talk about, which we'll get to in the second part. But I just want to talk about this case once again because I just gave you the overview of the case, but just this case was so friggin' cool, man. Like all around, like jeez, I love this case so much. Like I'll say I did not hate a single case in all the second part. The reason I like the first case the least is quite simple. I had to do this case 3 times because my my electricity wasn't going in a good direction. I had power cuts at least twice or thrice a day, so I had to do this quest at least 2 times, and that really frustrated me. So that was the only part of the reason why I really hated what happened. But anyways, it was a great case all in all, and I won't deny that. Now we're talking about the second case, and another case which I believe is seriously good. So for a second case and something like for a second case and something that we are trying to like figure out this whole new game and everything, this case really like threw me off guard. It's very similar to the first game's case, the second case of the first game, but at the same time it's really not that similar if we're talking about it, right? Really similar and not similar. We'll get to that really, but yeah, that was the first case. Now let's talk about the second case. The second case is called Reunion and Turnabout. That's the second case. Yes, that's episode 2, baby. Let's go. Now Reunion and Turnabout is, it has all the main characters obviously, but the defendant is Maya Fey. Yes, we're getting back into that territory. And the victim is Turner Gray. Those are some names. And this time the prosecutor is none other than One Karma. Not the One Karma we fought in the previous game. It's his daughter, the chick who's named One Karma. What was his name? What her name again? I think it's Francisca. Yeah. Francisca One Karma. That was her name. Yeah. But Francisca One Arm. One Karma, baby. And I think I really liked her as a character. I'm not gonna lie. She also has a really commanding objective, I would say, but not has so breathtaking as the One Karma from previous game. His objective is literally like, objective. I can't even do it. I don't have that deep of voice. I'm sorry. I can't do it. But holy shit, that objective really killed me. But anyways, let's talk about this case. Obviously, defense attorney is us, Phoenix Wright. Defendant is Maya Fey. The victim is Turner Gray. Prosecutor is Francisca One Karma. Witnesses are some of the returning characters, and that is Lota Hart, baby. We have Lota Hart as a returning character. We have Eeny Meeny has a witness. Yes, Eeny Meeny Miny Mo. Yes, I know what you're gonna say. That's who I'm talking about, Eeny Meeny. And so the other characters that will appear in this case are Mia Fey. Mia Fey appears because she's kind of important. If you have played the first game, you'll understand why she appears. There's Detective Gumshoe, obviously. We have Pearl Fey. We have Morgan Fey, so we have a lot of Fey family, yeah. And then we have Mimi Mini. Just calm down. Alright. We have Mimi Mini. We have Director Hoti. We also have Amy Faye's mentioned. She's not really a character, alright? But yeah, these are the characters that are mentioned in the game. This time we'll also be traveling to locations, so people don't get confused. I'll also tell which locations we'll be traveling to. Brighton Coast Law Office is obviously the starter location that we have. Then we have the detention center. That's another place that we will travel. We could travel to Crane Village, which is basically the home of all these priestesses, the spirit mediums that we know. Mia Fey, Maya Fey, Pearl Fey, and the Aunt Fey. I forgot her name already. We will be also traveling to the Fey Manor and meditation room. We'll also be traveling to the Fey Manor and the part of Winding Way, and Fey Manor and the part of Channeling Chamber. We'll also be traveling to the Fey Manor side room. And finally, we'll also be traveling to Hoti Clinic, which will be the reception hall. That's about it. Those are places we'll be traveling to, and we'll get into the actual case this time around. So let's begin. Let's talk about this case. Sherman Gray is a surgeon who visits us basically, and he visits us, he asks us for two things. The first is to help him resolve the incident that happened like a few years ago, 2 years ago, where 14 patients died, and the nurse, not a few years ago, I think it was a few weeks ago. Yeah, a few weeks ago, because obviously, if it was years ago, then the clinic would be closed by now. But yeah, he asks us to resolve that. And there's this nurse who was taking care of 14 patients who died in a car crash because of some sleeping pills. And there's these rumors that Gray is the culprit. Apparently, it's not him. It was the nurse who did it. And he asked us to take us to Maya, who's basically a spirit medium, and he wants to channel. He was married to channel in the nurse, basically. So, well, Maya puts on the condition that if Gray brings us along with him, then and then only she'll channel this deceased nurse, if possible. And so, we make our way to meet Maya, because we haven't met her in a while. So, we meet Maya, and we ask Maya about stuff. And there's this girl we see, her name is Pearl Fey. She'll be important later on throughout this whole game. But, well, let's just talk to Maya for the time being. And Maya basically says what we already know, except for the girl. The girl's name is Pearl Fey. She's the cousin, and she's supposed to be some kind of genius in spirit medium, due to which we can contact Mia Fey a lot of times. This is Maya's bigger sister, if you didn't know, and our boss as well. Anyways, move into the mediation room where we get the guide map for Fey Manor, and we also get to talk to Gray. And Gray basically says that he just wants to get a confession out, nothing else, that's it. So that happens, and then we move into the channeling chamber and we meet Morgan Fey. Yeah, I had to research her name because I forgot who she was. And she basically calls him Mystic. She puts Mystic in front of Maya every time we start talking about her, and she's also putting the name Mystic in front of Pearl, apparently, because it's some kind of tradition and everything. And we asked her about it, and this is basically that's what it is. It's like a tradition. And also her power is quite weak, apparently. That's the thing. Also, we asked her about the challenge chamber, and she says that this is where people are usually taken with the medium and the client to do the channeling, so that the others don't absorb the channeling process, basically. In case anything goes wrong, there's a huge door, and this will keep the ruckus from coming out. Anyways, we move to the Winding Way, and we look at all these places, the side room, the Winding Way, and that's when we meet Lota. Oh boy, he's been something, and I wrote for something like, was it Lota hair? It's funny. It's a funny thing to say, so I just said it, and then she's like, "No, I'm Lota Heart. Come on, did you forget me already?" Like, No, I didn't. You made a big mess of that the whole Edgewood case. How could I ever forget? It was the Edgewood case, right? I don't remember. Was this? Yeah, it was the Edgewood case, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it was the Edgewood case. So yeah, she made a mess of it. Anyways, we go back to mediation room and we hear a loud bang, and then we break into a chamber, force our way into the chamber, I should say, and we look at Maya, who's like fully covered in blood, and basically, the aunt, I forgot her name again, Morgan Frey tells us that we should most probably call the police and leave Maya to her, and so that she could remove the channeling and stuff, And so we do, and well, Laura takes a lot of photos. Yeah, not looking good for us. Laura takes a lot of photos, and well, we also send Maya is also sent to detention center, and we're like, oh, shit, what the hell? There's some serious bullshit happening over here right now. So yeah, we talk about that, and we talk to Loda, and Loda asks Loda if there's any ideas, and we learn that Loda took 2 pictures from the crime scene, and she also says that after this experience she'll become a celebrity photographer apparently. We explain why she is she's there on the final chapter as well, which is farewell my turnabout. Anyways, let's talk about what happens next. We go to the side room and meet Eeny Meeny. Yeah, she's here because of Gray, because he asked her if she knows that any kind of spirit medium, and she basically told that Gray she could come over here. That's about it. She's important later on though. She doesn't do anything. She doesn't do anything for the time being. That's all for now. So we go to the detention center after all this. We also see a little girl, but probably later on. She'll be relevant later on. For now, time being, we'll talk to Maya in detention center, who says that we ask Maya about stuff, alright? So because she's in panic, she says that she was too weak to stop the spirit's power, so we talk to Maya now. We ask about what happened during the channeling, and Maya says she really isn't a master of technique, but her mother was, and Maya will inherit the title of master someday apparently. And we ask her what happened actually, and she says all she remembers is that she went inside, she sat down and began channeling. The rest is blank. So when Maya was channeling someone, she basically loses self and consciousness, and she starts having a dream. Okay, and we ask her about the dream, and Maya says that she dreamed that she was dead and buried and she couldn't move, but she felt something familiar. Interesting. She also gives her Magatama and says that we should give this to Pearl, and this will help us out. So we go to our office again, and we remember there was a newspaper clipping that Gray showed us yesterday, and we basically add it on. This will be later on relevant, so we keep that newspaper for the time being. So we go to the channeling chamber, we talk to Morgan about stuff, and she basically tells nothing useful yet, so we just let it be. So we do examine the place as well, and we look at the folding screen. The folding screen has a bullet hole, right like around 8 inches above the ground, which is interesting to say the least. And then we go to side room where we meet Ini again, who doesn't remember telling us what she told us yesterday apparently. Weird. Anyway, she's not gonna give us anything relevant, so we just move on to the Winding Way, where we'll meet Pearl, and we present the Magatama to Pearl. Now the Magatama, yes. Let me talk about this. We give it to her, she gives us a black key. Alright, let it be. Now Magatama is gonna be really important, because Magatama is gonna basically teaches a new mechanic in this game. This mechanic being that there is a way to basically read these guys, and this Magatama, what it does is basically puts us into a cyclock mode where we basically have to find clues and break this lock so that the victim can speak the truth to us. Very interesting. I would say I like the mechanic. It's something different, I like it a lot. So yeah, that happens, and then we meet Gumshoot, and he notices Gumshoot. Did I just say Gumshoot? Oh my god. So he notices Pearl, and he tries to give her the gun for some reason. We stop him because guns aren't really toys for young kids. So we talk to him, and we show him the newspaper clipping, and Kamisha remembers story of the nurse committing suicide apparently after the whole foreign patients incident, and he gives us a second clipping, which is interesting to say, which also again will basically tell us we'll take talk to it about later on when necessary. For now, we go to the side room and we talk to Eni, and suddenly there is this, like I said, the psychologue mentioning that I had, and we have to present the evidence to her. Well, the evidence is quite easy to actually break down, because what we do is basically present the Magatama that we have, and when we present, we'll begin a whole new thing. He wants to know if there's any connection to Dr. Gray, and we present the newspaper clipping too. So there is a name in the clipping. One of them is Mimi Mini. Mimi Mini is the sister of Ini Mini. Oh my god, that is so weird to say. I wrote this down, but it's so weird to say. Oh my god. So, Mimi works at the Gray Surgical Center or clinic. So there's no way Mimi could not have told her. So it says that we ask her about the victim, that is Dr. Gray. And he says that Dr. Gray was really hard on his employees, so every night Mimi came looking very tired. This basically exhausted her, and this caused Mimi's accident. So that was basically it. There is a whole new thing that happens in the detention center though. We go to the detention center, we talk to Mia, who is now Maya, who is now Mia. I don't know how to put it. But we talk to Mia, and we tell her that we think that Maya is not guilty. And basically, when we ask about evidence, she says that there's a key for the key that we have is an evidence for an entire case. And well, when we present the key, Mia tells that we shouldn't be possessing this key right now. Well, we ask her why, and there are three Cyclops. Ooh, we're getting into the good part now. Let's go. So, Maya is in shock to hear that we'll be facing prosecutor One Karma. Of course, I was in shock as well, because I did not know that One Karma had a daughter who's like 18. Anyways, yeah, she's 18. She's legal, and she became a lawyer when she was 16. Yeah, crazy, right? Anyways, Maya thinks about Miles Edgeworth, and we just brush the topic. Considering what happened last year, apparently, if you remember the last game, Rise Up from the Ashes, right? Edgeworth goes away for trying to figure out what it means to be prosecutor, because he was defeated at that time. He felt really defeated, and he did not know what to do. So yeah, the trial begins, and we are introduced to our new opponent, who's no other than Francisca Von Karma. That's her name. And One Karma basically mocks us and everything. Yeah. I like the character, but she's too annoying as well at the same time. The whip is really annoying, and that's the part that annoys me the most. The sound of just like whoosh, whoosh, just happening over and over again is so annoying to me. Oh my god. And other than that, I actually like a character. If not for that sound, everything is fine about her. Anyways, Gumshoe describes the map basically, where the channeling has no windows and it was locked shut. At the time of murder, the only victim and defendant were in the room. The defendant, who was basically channeling a spirit, and a few minutes after the channeling started, gunshots were heard, and a few witnesses broke down and rushed into the room. And that's where they found the victim already dead. So we get a floor plans from that. So Gumshoe puts on a testimony, and we also get Dr. Gray's report. We press on all the statements, and we get a knife and pistol from it, and things are looking pretty bad for us, honestly, and everything is basically implicating that Maya is a murderer. And when we get a choice to plea or make a justifying self-defense, right, we choose to plead not guilty, which means that we just begin like this whole ass thing now, where we have to be the defendant, because if we went for self-defense, it's just game over. It's nothing. Anyways, Gumshoe testifies about more evidence. So we get Maya's costume added, and there is something strange about the costume. We'll get to that as well. There's a statement that that Kamshu tells about. There's a statement that Kamshu talks about basically. So there's a statement that says like, as you can see, it's covered in blood, but there's something that Kamshu doesn't tell us, and we press on that statement, and Kamshu is like, well, there's nothing, and we're like, is there anything else on this evidence that you have presented? And at that time, one karma is like objection, and I actually like a voice. Well, and then she just says that, and then when we're given a choice to press further by the judge, and we are like, yeah, there is a thing that we can do actually. And when we examine the costume, you can see there is a hole in the costume, well, the sleeve to be exact. So the judge takes a look as well, and it smells like gunpowder. It looks like somebody tried to shoot Maya but missed. So we get an updated costume, and we found a hole in one karma statement. And finally, after the statement is updated, the defendant attacked and killed a person who, without a doubt, was not fighting back, as a statement that Gumshoe gave. We present the thing. What is it called? The kimono, the Maya's costume. There we go. That's the evidence name. Well, we presented to Gumshoe, and we present a bullet hole that indicates that Dr. Gray did fight back in all of this. And he probably should try to shoot Maya. It seems they changed a lot of things, but one karma states there's a mistake. What we said suppose only justified self-defense, and we plead to we refused to that. We said that that our guy was not guilty, Maya was not guilty, and this is a justified self-defense. So well, things are looking really bad for us. So another statement that Gumshoe says, and then we again present Maya's costume. The statement that victim took a shot because they were too close, he missed it. But he was like, well, that's because if we take a close look at the bullet hole, well, there's no gunpowder burn. If the sleeve was shot like point blank range, there should have been gunpowder burn around it. One crime tries to explain that the victim could have pushed the defendant away before firing. However, the stab wound weakened Dr. Gray so greatly that he couldn't have had the strength to fight back. One crime explains that defendant pushed the victim before the latter fired. That means, well, whether we agree with it or not, it just doesn't make sense. So, one karma wants us to show the hole in our theory. So, we present the folding screen. The folding screen has a hole that is 8 inches off the ground. If both defender's sleeve and the screen were not shot at the same time, defendant couldn't have been squatting down. Which means, well, where was the defendant standing? Right exactly next to, like, around the hole, I would say. Well, it's shown on the map, but like, it was around the hole, that's basically it. And we are asked if our claim changes the case in any way, and we say, yeah, it changes everything. Well, why would Maya be squatting near the folding screen when she should be preparing to attack? It doesn't make any sense, right? So, well, it looks like we're getting somewhere, but it seems like one karma is smiling, and well, here we go. Judge calls in the recess, and we get into the second part of the trial. And there's a short scene where Pearl basically congratulates on making theories and stuff, and we still haven't proven the innocence. And one karma calls Lota to testify about her account and everything. Well, this is gonna be a crazy case. Lota basically testifies here, and she presents a pic to us, to the whole court, which is basically Maya from behind holding a gun to Dr. Ray. So we press on all of Lota's statement, and we press harder on the fourth statement, that is, inside was the dead victim and defendant waving a pistol around. And we are given a choice, after that where, like, she asks us where she looked, and we asked her whether she looked behind the folding screen. And things have gone from bad to worse. We are given a choice to present the further evidence. Well, we can't really present anything yet, as doing so will get us nowhere, actually. So it looks like all of our hopes are lost, and there's this one voice you hear, and it's Mia's. Well, Pearl is channeling Mia, and she tells us to recall the event from when we first entered the crime scene yesterday. So, you remember something? Oh? Remember what I said earlier? 2 pictures. Lota took 2 pictures. And well, we ask Lota about the second picture. Basically, Lota says that she managed to point the camera at Maya and take a shot, but well, we never had the second picture. So we basically confront Francisca von Karma about why she would do this. And this is a very funny scene that happens right after that. But anyways, Von Karma says that she didn't submit the second picture in court as she thinks this is not much of a use. After we finish our protest, she submits the second photo. When we look at the second photo, that kind of doesn't look like Maya now, does it? Well, obviously they have the power to channel other guys, but this just looks weirdly very much like Mimi, doesn't she now? So things are going downhill, and when you look at Loda's second photo, you wonder if there is something wrong with it, and which means that we can prove that there is something wrong with the photo actually, because when you look at the right hand of her sleeve, there wasn't any bullet hole there, and well, we present the sleeve to the court. Well, if Maya was squatting and the sleeve had a bullet hole during the fight, then it should be in the picture as well, right? But it isn't. The judge accuses Von Karma of hiding evidence, but Von Karma says she wasn't informed and blames the police. Basically, the fact that the bullet hole is in the sleeve of the costume we have now, but the picture was taken at a crime, basically confuses the judge, and he's like, "What is going on here?" And we're like, "It's obvious. The shooter is someone else." So this leaves the question, where did Maya go to? When did Maya leave the room? Well, judge asks us, like, how would Maya leave the room? Like, there is no way. So we have to present something for that. And we do have something, actually, the black key. There's only one key like this, and Maya is the only one who has that key when she entered the room. And we actually got the key from Pearl, but she was nowhere near the scene at the scene of crime at that time. So if that's the case, then Maya might have left the key in the room with the key. So with this, the court is adjourned, and well, it's time. It's time for investigation, baby. Second part of investigation is incoming. So there we go back to Korean village, obviously, on the next day, and we talk to Pearl. Nothing is that important except for one thing, that is Pearl's alibi. We see two Cyclops over there, which means she's hiding something. We present her the black key and ask her where she found it, but she says that she found an incinerator. And well, it's time to look in the incinerator. What is happening? So we go to Winding Way and we run into a familiar face that is in form of Annie. But we first examine the incinerator, since Pearl said that there was something in the incinerator. Like, where did she found it in the incinerator? And when we do, found a clothes scrap, which is quite interesting. Where's the key? Now the clothes scrap. And then we also find something else over there, and that is a sacred urn. It's for some reason it's written I am, but it's supposed to be Amy Faye's, the founder of the Korean channeling technique. It's supposed to be her urn, but for some reason it's just there. So we talked to Edie. There is nothing important about her either, except for one thing. She also has Cyclops around her traffic accident thingy. She didn't want to talk about a traffic accident that occurred a few weeks ago. And we're like, okay, I can see that. So we check on Morgan, and again, Morgan seems to be quite sinister this time. I wonder if she's involved in this somehow. Well, Morgan Faye, we talked to her. Again, nothing really important, I would say. There's some story related stuff which you guys can check on, but nothing important to our case yet. So we move to the detention center and we talk to Maya, and Maya basically tells us that we believe in her, and because it would be impossible for her to dream if she was really channeling the spirit. So if Maya did pass out when the murder occurred, could possibly be that she was drunk and set up to look like she was responsible for it. So we talk about that. And Maya also tells us that Pearl really loves to play with her ball that she keeps in Faye Manor, which is quite interesting to me. So we go back to Current Village and we learn to Lota, who considers herself trash and runs away from us. What? Anyways, we go to the side room where it doesn't look like Lota is there, but we do get a ball over there. So we get the ball, we examine the box, and there seems to be a hole in the box as well. The clothing box, and that's when Lota appears, and she's like, why are you looking at the clothing box?" Well, indicating that we're trying to steal some girly stuff from over there. Anyways, we go to the meditation room. My bad. We go to the meditation room where we see Paul, who says that Lota passed by. Present the Magatama to Pearl, and Pearl basically asks us that where she was, and well, we basically answer her that she was in Winding Way. And Pearl says that we are right, but she wants us to guess what she was doing there, and we present the ball, which basically breaks one of the cyclocks. Pearl seems to be handling the fact that something bad had happened while playing the ball, so we present the sacred urn, and we tell her that she knocked over the urn, breaking it, and Pearl wants proof, and then we say, we prove her by showing Amy Faye's profile, because Paul doesn't know how to spell Amy, so she writes I am instead of Amy. So someone probably broke the room and put it together, and put it together, which unlocks the psych successfully. So Dr. Pearl, and Pearl admits that she accidentally broke the urn with her paw and sets Amy's spirit free. She tried to fix it. She found a glue, and since there were big pieces, she was able to fix it, but she did poorly. Anyways, we talked to Lota, who basically tells us that apologizes to us for what happened today and asks if we'll forgive us. And well, I forgive Lota because I kind of like her. It's fine. So Lota tells us everything, and Lota suspects it's Eni who could be the murderer. And we present Eni's profile, and then she claims that she was once hospitalized and gives us the address to the clinic. And so we go to Hoti Clinic. Now, Hoti Clinic, we see this really perverted old man who's missing a few teeth and purple hair. Oh boy. Talking to his name is Oti. Yeah, his name is Hoti. Or is it Hoti? I don't know. I'm just gonna call him Hoti because that sounds right. I don't want to call him Hoti because he doesn't look like a Hoti from any angle. Anyways, we ask about Hoti and about the clinic. Well, he doesn't care about diesel, he just does surgery. So let's come about Eni, and he said that there was a significant surgery that she went through, and he's not allowed to go into details. And we're like, I'm an attorney. And then that's when he's like, okay, we'll tell you. And then he says that Eni had a major surgery. Her entire body was like wrapped in a huge cast due to sustaining serious injuries in a fatal traffic accident, basically. And what was the operation? It was to reconstruct Eni's badly burned face. We get a license, a driver's license though from that, and that'll be important. So Hudi also claims that the newspaper article about the accident, he also says that Eni was a passenger car and managed to get out by herself, which updates the newspaper clipping number 2, which is good for us because that'll be important later on in the case as well. Anyways, we go and talk to Lota. She says that Morgan called the cops earlier, and we are very confused by that. So we asked Lota about it, and Lota says that she suspects Morgan could be plotting to steal the title of master due to murder. Interesting. So, anyways, moving on, we go to Winding Pathway and present Maya's Magatama to Eni and start our cyclock. So when we ask Eni about the accident, Eni asks us, well, whose accident? This probably means that she knows about another accident. When asked whose accident, we basically present Eni's profile, and Eni wants proof, and we present the newspaper clipping. So we told her that she was interviewed about the accident, and Mimi's name was in it as well. Eni is still in denial and wants more proof from us, so we present the license photo. Well, that breaks one of the psyche. Now, one of the psyche has been broken. Eni confesses that she was hospitalized after the accident, but denies any connection to the case. So we show Mimi's profile, and remember, Eni was with Mimi after the accident occurred, and Dr. Ray was at the village to speak with Mimi, but was killed, which basically helps us know about it. We talk about traffic accident, and he finally admits that she was in Mimi's car when the accident occurred. She was basically sleeping in the car when it happened, so Eni couldn't do anything to save Mimi, so she picked up the photo from her purse and made it out alive, but badly burned. So that happened, and we also ask her about Dr. Gray, and she says that she blames that Dr. Gray for the accident, accusing him of drugging Mimi with sleeping pills. Interesting. That's an interesting theory. I'll not lie. When I was playing this game, I'll get to it in the I'll get to it after the ending of the case. I'll talk about it. Anyways, let's continue on. We go to detention center. Well, we go to Korean village again, and basically we can talk to Pearl. She had a bad feeling that something bad is going to happen. So we should see Maya. So we go to Maya. We'll see Mia there instead, though, and we talk to her. So there are three Cyclops. You know what time it is? It is time to break down Mia. So when Mia asks who she's protecting, basically with the Cyclops thingy, we present Morgan Fay's photo. So yeah, she's protected Morgan Fay. So that's one Cyclops broken. And then Mia says that Morgan has an alibi. She asks us to present another evidence where Morgan was at. So we present the clothes scrap we found in the incinerator, something out of the motor. But Maya was wearing her costume and she was arrested, so who changed her clothes? It could only be Morgan, who was alone in the manor. So Mia wants proof that the clothes was from Maya's costume, and we present the black key. Earlier, Pearl told us that key was in Maya's clothes with the incinerator. If that is true, Morgan would have had to change Maya's clothes first, since she was the only person inside the manor with Maya. So that breaks another Cyclops. And the final one, Mia reminds us that Morgan has an alibi and wants you to show what she needed to kill Dr. Gray. And we present Eni. If Eni could have done it, then Eni and Morgan were in cahoots. Which means we know who the murderer is. We now know, baby. It's time to get into the next day, and it's time to actually get the murderer. Let's go, baby. Alright, let's go. The trial begins. And one Karma tells us that she has cameras on us, and our defeat will be seen all over the world today. It's like, okay. So she calls on Morgan, obviously. And she asked Morgan to testify about the whole spirit severing technique. So the reason Morgan has been hiding this is that she thought this was a problem for Maya if she mentioned it. So basically, like, she testifies now, like, about all of her stuff. Anyways, we press basically on all of her statements, and well, after pressing on all the statement, one Karma calls eeny meeny, because there's like literally nothing we can do about this situation. There's literally everything is against us in the statements that Maya says that is against sorry, not Maya, Morgan says against Maya. So everything is basically against us. So she calls in Eni, and Eni says that the terrible thing that Mimi said is that she was murdered by that man, basically. Yeah, her sister. She saw her sister, basically. And she basically says this weird ass sentence which catches me off guard, and that sentence is like, I hadn't seen her in so long. And it's a happy and a sad way, and I was just like, this is weird. What? And then I pressed her, and then question her further. And then we choose it's very important, and Eni will add a statement right after that, which is, I wasn't like scared at all, and like her costume was totally normal looking. Like, what? No, her costume wasn't normal looking. We have proof of that. We have the second photo that Lota had. So, or we could just like show Maya's costume. Either of that. Like, we can show either of that, and that will pretty much kill Mimi. Mimi. I'm sorry, Eni. Oh my god, the names are confusing. Anyways, you get it. Eni, Mini. You can get it. But yeah, like, it's, I was like, what are you saying? What are you on about? Are you high? And then she changes her testimony, and then we press on her testimony that says, like, she persuaded the sister it wasn't, like, the right thing to do, and the second statement that she says is that Sigma's sister to the channeling chamber. And when asked where, so so after pressing on those statements, we ask her if she saw something strange, and when asked where, Well, we say that you are going to the crime. She says that she was going to the crime scene, and we press harder on that. And we are asked is important. We say it's very important, and she adds on the statement saying that you didn't see anyone on the way to like the channeling chamber, and then we find it that the contradiction is right over there, because we can just prove that that's the case, because we can just show Pearl's profile, because Pearl was literally there. She knocked the ball, she would have made a mess. So there is no freaking way that Eni would have missed out on that. And then we ask Eni where she really was, but one karma dies, and that Eni's line, and that she was indeed in the side room when we all when ask about the situation, and we say there's no way, and that's when we realize there's a contradiction. When asked what was a contradiction, we say it's in our testimony just now, and it's true that Phoenix and Lota were out calling police, and Morgan was the only one in challenge chamber. But how did Eni know if she was asleep, we then ask the question, where was the witness at the time of murder? And one karma basically has us answer the question. And we examine the Fey Manor map, and we basically present channeling chamber. And then we ask, like, when we are asked to like show us where, we show behind the folding screen. But Laura said she didn't see anything behind the folding screen, so we are asked to show another evidence, and we obviously know what the evidence is: the clothing box. So she must have put it behind the folding screen to keep herself hidden. Ini insists that both she and the clothing box were in the side room the whole time when the judge asks us to prove the box was there at the time of the crime, and we say that yeah, there is evidence for that, and we present the clothing box itself, because the clothing box has that hole, right? And we present it, and the hole is about the same height. If this is true, that clothing box must have been behind the folding screen, because the bullet went through. But that only leaves one question: if Eni hid behind the folding screen, dressed up as Maya, drugged Maya, and killed Dr. Gray, how did she get away with it? It would have been impossible, right? Well, in normal cases, yes, but not in this case, because we present Morgan Fay's profile, which is obviously her accomplice. So we finally describe what happened. Eni took the clothing box behind the folding screen to hide in wait for channeling to begin. When channeling started, Eni dressed up as Maya, completed the clothes and a wig, silently crept up to Maya and the doctor. She drugged Maya and then stabbed Doctor in the chest. Eni then hid Maya in the clothing box to make it look like channeling was a success. Suddenly, Dr. Gray, still alive, attempted to shoot Eni but missed, leaving a hole in the folding screen and the clothing box. Eni took Dr. Gray's gun to finish him off, but Phoenix and Loda came in to see Eni, who had covered herself with Dr. Gray's blood. Morgan then kicked Phoenix and Loda out, not to perform the spirit severing technique, but to help Eni and cover up Eni cover up the crime. Crime? I've been to say crime. I went perfect over there, except for the last word. Holy shit. Anyways, so is this all over? Not really. One karma and the wanted us to prove one last thing: the motive. Well, it's quite simple. If we present Mimi's profile, it's quite simple. Eni denies taking revenge, though. She says her desire for vengeance isn't that strong, and no one has proof of Dr. Gray ever drugging her sister. Furthermore, we have no proof for a reason of why Morgan would help Eni take revenge. Doesn't make any sense. So it looks like the murder plans was too complex, but Mia of course persists that she knows that we can find Eni's motive no matter how confusing it sounds. So we give another chance, and we just reply yes. Obviously, we'll take the chance. And then Phoenix basically asks to be allowed to present evidence, but Eni reminds us that the cross-examination has ended. However, one karma is like, hell nah. So the judge gives us a recess, and we begin the next trial session. I would say. We talk to Maya. She's a bit traumatized. Same goes for Pearl. Well, not Pearl, but Mia, Pearl. I don't know, man. Just leave it. Anyways, let's begin with the second one. So Edie gets a new testament, and it's about last year's accident. We press on Edie's statement that it was, unlike the night of the accident, my sister was really tired while she was driving, and Mimi was tired. Why didn't they switch drivers? And Edie says she didn't have a driving license, so she adds that to the testimony. But like, she had the driving license. We have proof of that. And Edie says that she got it half a year ago. There is no proof of Edie ever getting driving license before the accident. What? This is getting weirder. Okay. Anyways, second, she gets a new testimony, and then we press on her testimony that says she like had just gotten this really shiny bright red sports car. My bad. So she says that the sports car is from UK, and then we press horror, and the judge will have Eni revise a statement, which means that my sister's new car was like a totally special model from England. That's what she said. And then present the second newspaper clipping that we have on this very statement. And in this article, Edie mentioned that she escaped from right side of the car. But since it's a British car, the right side would be the driver's seat. But does this mean that Edie was actually sitting in the driver's seat? That was not what I was expecting. Yeah, that is actually not what I was expecting, because like, I'm writing this as I'm going through like each case, right? And that is something I was actually not expecting, like to actually get the British car over here. Weird. I do the voiceovers after, but I actually write the stuff beforehand, so it's like so weird to like read it like that because I already know the things that happen, right? Anyways, let's talk about solving the case now. So this leaves us one question: who was really given driving the car? And we are given a choice. If Eni was in the passenger seat, then who was driving? Who was driving the car? We choose Mimi, obviously, because there were only two people at that time. So Eno was in driver's seat and escaped, but Mimi was driving the car, yet was killed. That raises another question: who's the woman standing in the stand right now? Well, there's only one woman I can think of, and that's Mimi, which would make a lot of sense because Eni is actually not Eni, but Mimi, who became Eni, and I'm confusing everybody now. Basically, what happened is that Mimi, well, she was the one who was in the accident. She was the one who was involved in the accident, but it was her sister, Eni, who got killed. So, and Mimi's face got burned, so she got a surgery showing Eni's license. Wow, that was so unexpected from me. Like, wow, that is something. This case was really something. It was a long case for sure, and basically what happened was like, Edie, or Mimi, I should say, she got into an accident. Obviously, Eni passed away. Mimi decided to get a surgery. And after the surgery, she shot. Oh my god! She thought that this is a good chance for her to like basically like just leave everything, leave her whole life behind, and start a new one. It's kind of messed up, but still, like, she thought that we should be able to do things. And Mimi is obviously presumed dead, and everybody blames Dr. Gray now for all these events that inspired and everything. And obviously we have just explained throughout the case how everything happened, how Morgan basically set everything up for Eni, and then Eni came out of the floating box and then replaced Maya, killed Dr. Gray. And yeah, well, this was something, I'm not gonna lie. This case is great. Amazing case, I would say. This was my second favorite case in the game, honestly. No, actually, it's so hard to put the second favorite case in the game because I think that this might be third. It's not by a big margin, though, I would say third. Because the next case is also really, really good. Like, legit. And a case after that is just phenomenal, in my opinion. I just love all the three cases equally. It's just so hard to put them third, second, or first, really. But I think so my fourth case is my favorite case in this game for sure. Yeah, I think so. This is my third favorite case. It's a good case. It's a good case, and with a really wholesome ending picture. I love it. It's very wholesome. It's cute, and I can't help but be like, yeah, this case, it was worth solving. But the next case, it was worth solving even more because the way everything was planned out, ooh, I love it. Anyways, this is the third case. It's called the Turnabout Big Top. Ooh. Let's talk about Turnabout Big Top. Well, let's talk about the characters again. Characters are Phoenix Wright. The defendant, though, this time is Maximilian Galactica. He's basically a magician. The victim is Ringberry. A Ringberry? What the hell? I did a Russellberry, but I said Ringberry. Also, Russellberry is a ringmaster, and yes, we're going to a circus. That means yes. The prosecutor is obviously one Karma. The witnesses are Moe. He's a clown. We have Ben and Trilo. These are Guy and Puppet. And some of the other characters that appear are Maya Fey, Big Gumshoe, Regina Berry. I guess you guys already guessed who Regina Berry would be. That's the daughter of Russell Berry. There is Acro and Bat. The locations we'll be visiting are Wright and Co office. Obviously, that's always the detention center. I think this should be out of the picture. These two will always be in all the games. Doesn't matter which game we play. We have the very big circus. Yes, very big circus. That we'll be visiting. We'll be visiting the circus entrance. We'll be visiting Big Top, Ringmaster's room, cafeteria. We'll also be visiting the lodging house, which is and this lodging house will contain the plaza. The first floor will contain Moe's room, and the third floor will contain Acro's room. So these are the rooms that we have to visit. So yeah, we basically I wrapped up like all the important stuff, so that I don't have to mention that over again in the case. I think there's a better way because it wastes a lot of time explaining stuff about characters and stuff. Instead, I could just like have fun. I like the start of this case because it's just us going to this circus to watch some magicians and ringmasters perform. Really good case. Trust me, this case is an accidental good case, I would say. How do I put it? It's a very accidental good case. Anyways, let's continue. Yes, the start of the case is basically we are in the circus. We look at all this stuff that's happening, and then we move in to Wright and Co office because next day, and then we come to know that Max Galactica has been. I'm just gonna call him Max because that just sounds way too long for me. Anyways, Max has been basically arrested for murder of the ringmaster. So, well, Maya wants us to solve the case, and we're like, alright, buddy, alright, we'll solve the case if you say so. So we do. So we meet Max himself, who is basically just posting about stuff. Yeah, okay. Okay. I can't help but laugh about how Max was just posting like everything's fine. Jesus. So we present the attorney's badge to him. There is a psych though. He won't tell us about the meeting with Russell, but we can get to it later on. Anyways, we present the attorney's badge, and well, she sees that he's I don't know. He brings the cat. I love Max, man. I can't help but laugh at how he becomes a country bumpkin. The right second he comes to know he's in danger and asks us to save him. The guy is not bad guy. He's just funny to me. I mean, he's a bad guy at the same time, not. Like, as a human, I'd say he's trash, but like as because he plays around with Ben's feelings and stuff, so like yeah, but as a character is pretty funny. Like, he wouldn't murder somebody type of character, that I could say. Anyways, we move to this circus where we are a very big circus and we see nothing but police, so we move to Big Top. Once we enter Big Top, a tiger attacks us, and well, the tiger is under control of Regina. So we talk to Regina, and she basically tells us what anybody would say as like how the murder happened. Well, the murder victim is our father, not how it happened, but yeah. So well, Regina is a regent until this whole case gets closed up. And we ask her. We ask her. Oh my god, my English. Holy shit. Anyways, we present Max's profile and ask her about Max. Apparently, she didn't know that Max was arrested, and she has other things in mind. And we ask her what. And Regina only wants to tell Maya, who's amazed. I guess nobody loves us here because even even the magician wanted to smash Maya. So yes, nobody loves us. Any love over here? I mean, she's 16. I don't want to love her, but at least some respect, dude. Okay. Anyways, that happened, and then we present Russell's photo profile to Regina, and she says that she last saw her father running nearby his office. So, well, that is good to know. So we move to his ringmaster room. I would say, yeah, ringmaster room. That's the correct thing to say. Anyways, the ringmaster's room. We get there. We see an envelope, and it seems to be Max's salary, and it's crazy high. Apparently, it's dated a week ago. So there's something that because Max did say that he was negotiating with the ringmaster for salary. And we also examined the tailcoat where Maya, being an obsessed fangirl has already swiped a Maxi promo poster. Okay, that's actually going to be a useful thing later on. Anyways, we go to Plaza and we talk to Gumshoe. Gumshoe gives us a crime photo, which is obviously going to be useful. Well, there's also something else that is unusual. There are no footsteps. Okay, this is gonna get interesting because it's a magic show over here, a shit show more like. Anyways, we present Max's profile, and Max's arrogance doesn't make him a criminal, but Gumshoe claims that he has proof of Max's guilt, and he shows us a silk hat, which is interesting. It does have his classic cloak, and it includes its classic emblems, the signatures, you know. So yeah, Gumshoe also tells us that there's an eyewitness, so it's quite interesting as well. So yeah, thing. Anyways, we move on to Circus's entrance. We also meet Ben, who is he's not in pretty good mood because he can't help but he needs his puppet. He can't talk without his puppet because he's stuttering a lot. So yeah. Other than we go to Moe's room in Lodging Plaza. In Moe's room, we talk to Moe, this clown. He's a witness basically. So we present Max's profile to him, and Moe seems to hate the guy. So he said that he heard a clunk at the night of murder, and he basically saw Max from behind. That's what he says basically. So that's like the basic gist of it. There's a lot more things he says obviously, but yeah, like he basically has a loud clonk or thump, I don't remember, something that basically hits hard, and he's like, okay, we know about it. Yeah, he also makes some bad jokes. Anyways, moving on, let's continue on. We move to the cafeteria. There is a broken bottle. Examine it. It'll give us evidence. So we continue moving, and we move to speak Max again in detention center. In the detention center, we talk to Max, and we start Maya's Magatama on him. Now, Maya's Magatama will show us 3 locks again, and Max says he only talked to if you remember what I talked about Max earlier, so that continues on with this, where he says that he only talked to Russell to negotiate his fee, but, well, we already know that we already negotiated a week ago. So we present that to him, which breaks one of the psych locks, and Max admits that Russell did call him in his office, but he doesn't want to say what. And then we show him the broken bottle, which Max recognizes the bottle upon seeing it. So Max basically gets another psych lock broken. Max is sweating bullets now, but like he's still hiding something, so we present Ben's profile. And well, Max probably used a bottle to hit Ben's head. That's why I said he's not a good human. It's because, well, here's the thing. Now that the truth is out of the bag and we unlocked him successfully, Max basically tells us what the case is. The case here is Max and Ben got into a fight over Regina, who is 16. The ringmaster wanted Max to marry Regina, who is 16, remind you. I don't care the age of consent is 16 or something. The hell do you mean marriage at 16? What? Ugh, I don't know. There's some messed up shit right over there. Ugh. Yeah, Regina is 16. If you look at her profile in the profile menu, she's 16. And Ben wants to smash Regina as well. Well, the puppet, Ben says it's its puppet, but he wants to smash Regina as well. Brother, what? I don't know, man. This is some. Max is pretty old, I'm pretty sure. I did not check his profile. You know what? I'm gonna check Max's profile. Wait, I wanna know what Max's profile is. Just give me a moment, alright? I'm doing it live right now. I wanna check what his profile is. Alright, Galactica, Ace Attorney, profile. Yeah, I wanna know his profile. What's his age? I wanna know Max's age. He's 21? Wait, Max is 21? From which angle is he? 21? Well, doesn't matter though. 21 wanting to marry. Max listen up, Max wanted to marry Regina. 15 or 16 at that time. Oh my god. My voice is gone. Oh, yeah. Oh. Japan has some weird stuff, but man, that's some seriously messed up shit, you know? Oh my god. Oh, I hate it. I hate it on other levels. Oh my god. Yeah, you give Ben the thing, you know, the puppet. Yeah, he wants to smash. What is Ben's age? Wait. I want to know what is Ben's age now. I am doing this live right now. Okay, I don't care. I want to know what is Ben's age. I swear to God, what is Benjamin Woodman? He's 31. That's even more messed up, dude. Oh my god. Oh, it's like a 15-year age gap. It's like a pedophilia level age gap. Oh my god. Is this some straight A bullshit? I'm telling you. Oh my god. Where are we going with this game? I take back about loving this case. I forgot that Regina was 15 or 16 for a moment. I was like, oh, I love this case. No, I don't. Not anymore after reading all that. Oh my god, yeah, he wrote a love song for Regina, okay? Oh boy. Anyways, there's a monkey who takes out Terry's badge and we follow the monkey who loves shining things. We go to Acro's room where we basically find the attorney's badge. The monkey will be added to our thing and the attorney badge we get it back, obviously. We also find a ring, by the way, over there, which again, it'll come up later on because I'm traumatized right now. Anyways, the trial begins on the next day. Max is really nervous. Whatever, nobody cares. Now I want him to go to jail. Anyways, Gumshoe testifies the details of the event and gives us the autopsy report. I don't think the autopsy report was useful in any of the stuff, but we'll remember that if there is a time when I have written about the autopsy report, because I don't remember it was any use of any time. Anyways, we have to present all of statements that Gumshoe has. There's one statement that Gumshoe will really help us in, and that is Whipton was found bent over the wooden box. So we asked about the contents, and Gumshoe basically presents small seasoning bottle. So, well, that's good for us because that's an evidence that will be really, really useful at the end of the case. So after Gumshoe, we have our next. Oh yeah, the murder weapon is missing as well. There we go. That is very important. I almost forgot that. Anyways, next person that is on the court is Ben and Trillo. And Trillo is the one testifying, not Ben, definitely not. Anyways, Trillo testifies and he says that he basically implies that there was a guy that was passing by and that guy was none other than Max. And Trillo's fourth statement said that he was the only one heading that way, and how could that punk not be a killer? So Trillo is basically convinced that here's Max and only Max. So when we're given a choice, we ask Ben only saw Max, and we suspect Trillo was waiting outside for someone else. And we asked who. We present Russell Berry's profile, and if Trillo saw Max, he should have also seen Russell, since both Russell and Max went to the office before the crime occurred. One comment, however, says that, as we heard from the defendant, the veracity is dubious. If Max said he was in the office at that time, then why did Trillo see him outside the tent before the murder occurred? Well, can Max be lying? That basically weakens our claim, but we wanted to, without cross-examination. We then press on to the next statement that he says, that is, the police showed up and the magic boy took us taken away. But Ben and Trillo were outside the tent. It was very cold, and well, there is a reason why they were waiting, and there could only be one reason why they could be waiting, and that is Regina Berry. And we basically present the evidence of Regina Berry to the court. Trillo was going to propose to Regina. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, sure. And then when Trillo gets a testimony again about the proposal, it's so weird to say that I know their ages. But yeah, the cross-examination leads to Trillo basically is giving us a clue, so we press on to the statement where he says that he had something to give to Regina, and well, that something is the engagement ring apparently. One Karma wants us to move on, but we asked him to revise the statement anyway. So the statement comes, and then we present the ring. On the statement, I planned on giving an engagement ring to Regina. And Trillo instantly recognizes it's the ring. And if Trillo says he has the ring in his pocket, then why doesn't he have now? And Trillo admits that Money the monkey stole it since he loves shiny things. Well, Ben says that Money stole it right after Max passed by. So Ben chased after it, but Money got away. Well, that is good to know. What we heard just proves something. When asked for, we choose basically Ben's testimony has flaws. So Trillo had said he was waiting at the crime scene for some time after Max passed by, but now he said that he was actually chasing Money. In that case, it's very possible for someone to pass by Trillo while Trillo was absent. So we can choose Ben doesn't exercise enough as well, but I will remark us to go play video game, and it really gives a penalty because I tried that because I was going through it really fast and I forgot to click on the stuff. I'm dumb. Just. Anyways, we get third testament from him, and this time around he says something weird. He said good evening to Max. To Max. What? Okay, I'm confused. Like, why would Trillo say good evening to Max out of all people? He said something like that to Max. Oh my god. Anyways, we present a broken bottle on the fourth statement where he says good evening to Max. And well, here's the thing, right? We know that Max basically clunked the bottle on his head, Ben's head, basically. And if that is true, there's no way Trillo just said good evening and let it slip up, you know. Ask what Trillo really saw. We basically are asked that by the judge, so we say we saw a different person, and when asked who, we figured Russell. Yeah, Russell was the one who was basically in Max's costume. If it was Max, Trillo wouldn't have been so pleasant at all, honestly. There's only leaves one question. If someone was dressed as Max, passed by Ben and Trillo, then who was it? One Karma says that she has a new witness, and well, the judge calls for recess, and we move into the second part of this. In the second part, let's talk about this. Max basically says that he has no any other scene or anything like that, and the trial continues. So now the clown has been brought on the scene. I hate it. I forgot how much I hated this case. I take it back. The clown is the most annoying piece of shit because he doesn't say anything that we want, but like we try to press stuff from him. He starts making jokes about stuff. Like, come on, man. Anyways, we press on a statement where he says, I thought I'd go straight to sleep, but before that I glanced at the video, and we ask him why. So we keep pressing, and Moy says, I forgot something, and revises the statement. And he says that he heard a huge sound, and we obviously press that. And Moy says it was sound of something hard getting hit. So he also says something weird about keeping a watch, and all of a sudden Max clonked the ringmaster over the head, and we press that statement. Moe says that he didn't see the murder weapon, and then we ask him, what did he see? And ask him if he did see any kind of crime at all. Sorry, that was me coughing. Don't mind that. Anyways, one karma tells us that if we can't answer what this case basically what Moe in this case did see, like what actually he saw and stuff, and how our health bar goes. Yeah, this game is very punishing if you didn't know. Especially in the last case, you can just lose in a single mistake. You have to say regularly. So Moe says he saw the crime after Max clonked Russell dead. They did not see the crime occurring. Moe admits that one karma made him lie, apparently. One karma is crazy. Anyways, there's a new testament that Moe has, and that is basically there's a silhouette now that he mentions. And, well, there's something weird about it. He said his silk hat, the black coat, they were all there, but that is weird because if you look at Mag-G promo poster, his silk coat is not really black coat. Not coat, I mean cloak. It's not really a black cloak. And we asked Moe about the white roses, but there weren't any white roses. And one karma says it's too dark, but we says roses are white. One karma states that the roses fell off, but you say the police would have found them, right? Anyways, we recall Trillo's testimony, and he said he saw all three symbols, when Moe now says he only saw two. The judge decides to hear testimony from another testimony from Moe, and so Moe gives another testimony. Well, it's at this moment I realize something. We can't press on this shit. Because pressing on any statement here means one karma will whip us and drop our health bar down. Anyways, Moe does say something weird though. He says that he was wearing it the entire time, the hat, on the scene. And we present the silk hat, which is found at the crime scene, but Moe says Max was wearing it the whole time. And Phoenix asks Moe how the murderer left the scene, but Moe says he just turned and walked away. And then judge wants us to show evidence to counter this claim, which obviously we show the crime photo where we can see the victim's footprints, but where the murderer's footprints. Moe decides to testify once more, and this time he promises to tell the truth because one karma made him hide the truth, but no more lies this time. So, well, let's just go. So, the actual truth that Moe says is that the murderer flew, and that is actually the truth because I believe that. I definitely believe that. This leads us to the third day of investigation. The third day of investigation, we basically get the photo of a Grand Prix, I believe, and in this Grand Prix photo, we see Max performing basically, and this also leads us to another thing, and that is the bust, Max's bust. I thought I would say that words, but yeah, Max's bust. So we go to circus, we talk to Brent Trillo, nothing important, we just talk about Grand Prix. Again, you guys should play this game on your own to know more about what we talk and everything. I'm just going through these stuff faster so that I can actually get to shit, because this video will be otherwise 3 or 4 hours long, just like the previous ones. I have to just get to this shit quickly. So yeah, we go to Plaza, and we run into Gumshoe, who tells us that one karma is here and currently investigating Acro's room, apparently, which is interesting. Anyways, we go to the cafeteria right after, where we see Moe after being tormented with another joke by him. We present the Grand Prix photo for him to him, and Moe says that Max has shown the photo to everyone. Not only that, but he also makes everyone down to his enormous bust every day. Oof. Never said I thought that would be the thing I would say. Really? I never thought that would be a thing I would say. Anyways, moving on to the next one. We go to the detention center. We actually found a note actually, which Moe gives us, and it basically talks about a murder, and we present a note to Max, and he says that he has seen this note before, and he says that on the morning of the murder, Russell saw the note posted on the wall. After reading it, he became enraged and tore it off the board and stuff it in the pocket apparently. So that actually leads us to this to his coat in Ringmaster's room, which we examine, and we get the we stick like two papers together, and it's what it says is, to the murderer, I have conclusive evidence of what took place. Meet me at 10 p.m. tonight at Lodging House Plaza. That's when the murder took place, actually. So we do go there to the plaza, and Bumshu says that he just finished the investigation in Acro's room, and I hear a beeping noise, which means that One Karma is here. So One Karma, we talk to her, and it kind of gets into a more Edgeworthy territory. Yeah, we talk about revenge, and One Karma says that she's here for revenge, and we say what her father did was wrong, and then One Karma is like, who cares about my father? I'm not for that. I'm here for Miles Edgeworth. I see a ship over here. anyways, yeah, she basically talks about Miles Edgeworth, and well, she's here for Edgeworth because he's like a little brother to her. Well, I don't see a ship here anymore. Anyways, yeah. There is also Edgeworth's death, which indicates that Edgeworth is dead, but he's not really. Because I was like, wait, when did Edgeworth die? Yeah. Anyways, there's also that indication of that. But anyways, moving on. We go to Acro's room where we meet Acro, whose real name is Ken Dingling. Which I love that name, Ken Dingling. Holy shit, that's such a good name. Anyways, he says us about a very important clue, that he says that he witnessed Acro, not Acro. He witnessed Max flying in the air. Okay. He's also in wheelchair apparently, and when we talk about why he was in a wheelchair, we get a psych lock. So we have to unlock that as well. So we go to Big Top. We present a note to Regina, and she basically says that the note was given to her, and we present the small seasoning ball to her. She says that she saw this in the cafeteria. Also, she's not a fan of Pepper, and we'll get to that later on too, because of why she's not a fan of Pepper. Anyways, moving on. We move to Moe's room to get Regina's stage costume, because she asked us to bring the stage costume, and Monkey's here, and Monkey is like my costume, and we get it for her. And we present the stage costume to her, and she says that this actually belonged to Leon the Lion, apparently. And Leon's practice went awry and bit someone. Because of this, Russell was enraged and had to put the lion down. Ah, poor Leon. I feel sad for Leon because it wasn't even his fault. We'll get to that part as well, though. Anyways, let's moving on. We go to the cafeteria where Moe says that there's something that he wants to get over with. And, well, we get a psych lock over there because he doesn't say what the event that occurred 6 months ago is that he wants to get over. So, we present Miles Magatama since we have all the clues. And we are given a chance to show the cause of accident that happened 6 months ago. We present Leon, and this incident happened 6 months ago, did the death of Leon, which happened 6 months ago. So, one psyche is broken. When we ask Moe who was involved, Moe said he promised he wouldn't say anything. Apparently this person was involved as well. When given a chance, we present Acro's profile, which obviously unlocks unlocks this whole conversation punch, and we come to know that Acro's brother actually was killed. Well, not killed, he's in coma, but 6 months ago, Acro's brother was bitten in the neck by the lion. And the lion was smiling, apparently. Interesting. We go to Acro's room and start the Magatama thingy again, breaking the psych lock. Questioning about his wheelchair. Acro says that his injuries were accident, and we present Leon, and Acro was probably attacked by Leon. That's what we say, which breaks one of the psych locks. Acro asks us why he was attacked with Lion. You think he actually battled? He asks us if we think he actually battled with Lion. When Acro asks why we present Bat's profile, who is Acro's little brother, and Bat was attacked by the lion during the practice. So Acro probably attacked the lion to protect his brother, which unlocks another psyche. Acro suspects that Moe told us that, but Moe hasn't said anything about Acro. Acro says it was only an accident, but we still see one psych lock, which means that he's hesitant to mention to someone he doesn't seem to like too much. So we present Regina, someone who he doesn't like so much. So sorry, I had to burp. Regina, who was the Lion's owner, and she was the tragedy that she was the reason why this whole thing happened. Yeah, she was the Lion's owner, Leon, I think so. Yeah. Anyways, Acro says that Regina never taught Leon to attack people, but he still hates Regina. And when given a chance to show how, we present a note. Every morning, Regina brings Acro's breakfast, so Acro probably wrote it and put it in Regina's pocket because he's good at it. Anyways, that breaks the psych lock and basically unlocks the whole confession of Psycho? I mean, Acro. Yeah, there we go. And Pat wanted to basically take Regina out on a date, basically. Well, I don't mind this because Pat was around the same age of Regina. I think so. Pat was like 16 or 17 as well. So he dared to put a hand inside the lion's mouth to impress her, and he did. But he was bitten and ended up comatose. And ever since then, Acro has been in hospital and now and then waiting for basically hoping that Bat opens his eyes someday. Yeah. Well, we also talk about Regina and Bat apparently, and it seems that they're good friends. Yeah, the pepper is gonna come in really, really handy. We get a scarf, which is this bloody scarf, which is really important for tomorrow's trial as well. This is gonna get a little bit darker territory, I would say, because I felt the emotional burden on this one. This case was really good. I won't go through all the cross-examination and anything like that, because this case was very emotional to me. It's obvious that Acro did it. And, well, he was hiding the bust. I'll tell you that he was hiding the bust under his, under the cloth that he was wearing on his wheelchair and everything. The case was really emotional for me. I don't want to talk more about the trial because, well, I just felt the emotional burden on this case as I was going through it, bit by bit. We knew that Acro was the real culprit. I wouldn't say how he did it. He basically used the bust. He lowered it when he heard the loud thump noise of the heavy bag, that Russell was lying on. When he heard that heavy thump that Russell kept the bag down, he used the bust, hit Russell. The cloak that Russell was wearing hit Russell on the back. The cloak that Russell was wearing, it went on top of the cards of the bust. He pulled it up. He's obviously an acrobat, so he has great upper strength. So he pulled up the bust and basically, yeah, that happened. Oof. This case is something else. I feel so bad for Acro because this case is something that's really like everything started with a child's play and ended up horribly wrong because all Regina wanted was to play a small prank with Bat, and so what she did was pour pepper over Bat's scarf, and Bat was sneezing really badly. And the lion grinning, that was actually not the lion grinning. The lion sneezed and that actually bit through what's his face? Bat's neck, which put him in coma. It's a really sad story when you think about it because in the end there was nobody at fault really. Or I should say everybody was at fault. Bat was too daring. He should have never put his head in the lion. Regina was too playful. She shouldn't have done the seasoning thing. Regina did it as a prank. It wasn't something she meant to do. And it led to this. And well, all this led to Acro actually trying to murder Regina, but well, Regina never appeared. It was instead her father who took the blow, and that's really sad when you think about it. Because it's just a case that really emotionally burdens you when you go bit by bit deeper into this case. The next case I can freely talk about, but this case is so like unexpected in this whole thing because this was much more. You see, this is what I was talking about. Phoenix Wright, when I was playing Ace Attorney, yes, Edgewood's case was dark and everything. Like there was nothing emotionally burdening about it. We were just thinking about how to save Edgewood. we were just thinking about nobody's right or wrong over here. We know who is the right person. We want to save this person at any cost. Same goes for the second one, as last two cases that we did. Not the last two cases. I think so. We just did. No, we did the last two cases. Right. The last two cases we did. Right. Same goes for same. We know Maya was innocent. We knew that that Maggie was innocent. Right. But here, everybody is somehow involved in the crime. It's not like everybody is innocent. Somebody is innocent, right? Everybody is involved in a crime. Even the guy Max, he's a trash human when you think about it. Other things he does and stuff. And this whole case just morally questions everything that is happening around you, especially the whole age thing. But you leave that aside, and you just look at what happened throughout the case. You question whether this case was it was such a well-written case. Even I can't really help but like notice, like, well, it's a sad case. It's just a sad case when you think about it. Everything is just, when Acro even trying to like frame Max for everything that he did was because he wanted to he wanted to look at his brother. He wanted to make sure that he's there when his brother wakes up and opens his eyes. And that's the only reason Acro didn't want to get caught. If that was not the case, Acro would happily be there, obliging to be in the custody. But instead, he doesn't want that because he wants to see Bat open his eyes again. It's sad because this is something that's more realistic than anything. People are crazy to do things like this, and this is actually something that's pretty realistic if you think about it, about how people think and everything. I love this case for that very reason, because the ending of this case was so unexpected. It just came out of blue to me, and as again, I was just focusing on getting Max out of here, and all of a sudden I'm here in a morale situation where I don't know who's right and who's wrong. It's an unbelievable case that is done right, and I think this case had a top-notch work done right. I hands down can say this case is some of the best writings I've ever seen, and yeah, it's an amazing case all in all. Great case. I again, it has its flaws. I think the case is just weird at the start. But when you get to the second half of the case, it just gets great all in all. When you present the evidence and you dig deeper into it, it's just emotionally burdening, and that's how cases should be. And that's how the next case is gonna be, because the next case is gonna be quite an interesting one. Ooh, talking about this case really took energy out of me. Alright, this next case is called Farewell My Turnabout. It's time. This case is gonna have some fun, guys. Obviously, the defense attorney is Phoenix Wright. The defendant is Matt Engard. Victim is Juan Corrida. The lawyer who's prosecuting this time is Edgeward, baby. Edgy is back, and we're gonna see what Edgy is gonna go through. Oh, we're gonna have a Phoenix Edgy team composition this time around. Let's go, baby. We also have our witnesses who are Wendy Oldbag. Yes. Will Powers. Yes. Oh, guys. These are all old guys from previous cases. And we also have Adrian Andrews, so we'll get to who she is. Yes, it's a she. That is going to be important. Remember that. There are also other characters who will be important as well, like Maya. But Maya won't be in this case for that long. Pearl, obviously. We also have Mia, who will form with Pearl, you know. Yeah, you get the whole medium thing by now. We have One Karma, we have Gumshoe, we have Lota as well, we have Shelly the Killer. Just we have Celeste and Pax, we have Hoti again, and we have John Doe. These are the guys we have. Talking about location, we already know 2 locations we'll be going to, so I'm not gonna mention them again. We have the Gatewater Hotel, and this time in Gatewater Hotel we're going to go in Viola Hall. Then we're going to do hotel lobby, hallway, Ingrid's hotel room, Corrida's hotel room, Ingrid's mansion, we'll go to private lounge, and then we'll go to wine cellar and criminal affairs department and horticulture. So yeah, there's a lot of places we're gonna be going to. So yeah, so the first basic thing happening in this is basically we are here because the Nickel Samurai is here in the Grand Prix along with some of the other characters who are like Power Rangers and everything. Don't question it, just move on with it. There's nothing important over here except for one important evidence that we'll get, and that is the press conference ticket. That will be useful later on. Anyways, we get the press conference ticket, which helps us move into the hotel lobby, where we met Wendy Obag. Well, she was fired from Global Studios after that whole incident that happened, and now works as security over here. So that happens, and then we again move on to next places, where we go to the Viola Hall, where the bellboy bores Maya for a moment, saying that someone is asking her for her on the phone, and well, Maya gets kidnapped. Well, let me just say, a murder takes place, and Matt Engrod, who's basically the Nickel Samurai, kills Juan Corrida, who is Corrido. That's what his name is. Yeah, he is arrested. Matt Engrod is arrested because Juan Corrida is murdered, and well, I think so. His name is Jamin Ninja Juan Corrida. So yeah, the Jamin Ninja was murdered, and well, Matt Ingram's profile gets added. So yeah, we get that, and then in the hotel lobby, we get a radio receiver from Powers, and when we talk over the radio transmitter, Powers says that there are two nasty rivals, and they would butt. So that happens in Powers. We talk to Power about Matt and Juan, and we also talked to him about the press conference. And well, there we go. Paul asks us a question, where's Maya? And she's been gone for a long time for answering a phone call, and that's when the trans receiver that we got, I'm just gonna call it the radio. The radio that we got, it basically beeps, and we get a mysterious voice which brings bad news. Well, it seems that Maya has been kidnapped, and the killer, he basically wants us to take Ingard's case, and Ingard's, I'm just gonna call him Matt. It's a way too weird name. He wants us to take Matt's case, and he wants us to basically declare him not guilty in 1 day. Oh boy, this is gonna be a case, isn't it? Anyways, this first case where I couldn't really make it anything out for once. So I was just like, interesting. We tell Gumshoe about the ransom, and Gumshoe saying that the killer is holding Maya for Ingard's complete acquittal, like everything is planned, and surely he must be working for Ingard, right? So that makes Ingard the real murderer, or in other words, Matt the real murderer. So the police found so much evidence on it, it just feels so wrong. So it could be a setup for Matt's murder. So the game leaves Phoenix's POV and switches to Maya, which makes us wake up in some kind of cellar. We encounter a kidnapper who looks quite familiar, and the man introduces himself as the killer, who ensures that he isn't planning to kill us yet. And then he calls to Phoenix, and then it begins with the call that we had earlier on. Well, the next day, we have Pearl who will accompany us, and it's time to go to the detention center. Talk to Matt. When we talk to Matt and we ask him about the murder charge, well, Matt says that he actually isn't a murderer. And when we check the cycle arc, seems he's safe. Interesting. He might be innocent after all. Fuck me. I think so anybody would think like that. Like, when you think about it, this case is like, what? It surprises. It surprises a lot. It's a great case, honestly, the way it was written. So yeah, we moved to the hotel lobby right after that, where we see Obag, and we talk to Obag, and we ask her about what she witnessed, but there's Cyclops all over her because she doesn't want to talk about what she witnessed. So well, okay. We go to the hallway, and we talk to Lota, who's annoyed. He said she bought a camera for $1,600 of secret $1,600 for $700, but she lost it at the night of murder, and she doesn't really know where the camera is because oh, sorry, she doesn't really remember what picture she took. So that's really important. And also she talks about a big scoop, and there are two cyclops about that as well. So well, there's that we have to encounter as well. And then we go to Matt's hotel room where we meet a young woman who is supposed to be Adrian Andrews. Yes, her name is Adrian Andrews. That is right. She's Matt's manager, and we talk to her and ask her about the whole situation, and seems that she is not really involved in anything until we present her with Juan's profile, and we get the whole thing motive of murder. So we ask her about the motive of murder, and you ask her basically what she knows, and then she's just having a cyclops around her. Interesting. So we have three people with cyclops all over the place. So we just decided to go to Juan's hotel room, I would say. Yeah, Juan's hotel room. And we see Gumshoe there, and he can help us with whatever he wants. So he gives us hotel map, which obviously added to the court record, but honestly, not that useful. Anyways, he tells us the cause of death, but Gumshoe doesn't have an autopsy yet, which is fine. But he does have a crime photo, so he gives us a crime photo, so that's good to know. And then we also get to pan to the right, and then we can examine like an open guitar case and a wine glass. Both will be added to the record. So we present the wine glass to Gumshoe, and Gumshoe says that Von Karma noticed it as well, and she takes well, there's a beeping sound, and Von Karma appears in the room right after that because of that, and then she takes Gumshoe away with some seriously funny shit that goes on. I loved it. Anyways, moving on. She leaves behind a piece of paper which has an autograph, so it looks like an autograph for a certain someone, you know. So we get that. We also examine a teddy, but there are a bunch of teddy. Like, it's not that important yet. It will be though later on. Anyways, we go back to the hall where Powers is, and we talk to him. Basically, he's in the hall. We talk to him. He's just there to be there. He doesn't really add anything onto it. But he does help us with something there. If we present him Adrian Andrews, he gives us a magazine clipping. So this magazine clipping that he gives us contains information relevant to her and Juan, who once had a relationship apparently, and she's referred to as Miss AA. Interesting. Anyways, we go meet to Olbag. We present Magatama, and Olbag's cyclops starts happening. So we present her with the autograph, and the autograph we give her gets taken off the court record, and that breaks all the cyclops records or something. Cyclops? What am I saying? That breaks all four cyclops, which means that we unlocked her conversation. We asked her what she witnessed, and she tells us that she saw Matt coming out of Juan's room on her way to toilets 10 minutes before discovery of the crime. And she also says that she'll be the witness of stand. Oh boy, that's gonna be something. We also ask about Matt's past, and Obak says that Matt created a scandal that plagued Juan's career. Basically, the scandal involved Andrews apparently. That means Adrian Andrews. And she thinks that Matt did it on purpose to drag Juan's reputation through the mud. Which, by the way, later on we'll know what happens actually with that whole thing. Then we meet to Lota, and we use the Magatama on her, and we present Andrew's profile on her because it's the big, the big. So we prefer the big, you know what the hell is a big, the big scoop. Anyways, we prefer Adrian Andrews' profile on her, and then she says that she wants more proof that she met Andrews, and then we present a magazine clipping, and well, she says that she'd already written an article about that scandal. However, it was her camera case, and the camera got stolen. So yeah, that was good to know. So we move to the criminal affairs department where we see Gumshoe, and Gumshoe basically just didn't help us except for maybe with the magazine clipping, because the magazine clipping says just one part of it, where Gumshoe explains to us that the case is related to a woman who committed, the S word 2 years ago. I can't say that word because, well, her name was basically Celeste Impacts, and she was Juan's Corrida's manager, apparently, or Juan's manager, and also Andrew's mentor. And then we talk about Celeste, and then Kamshu says there isn't any connection between Celeste's S word and murder. And suddenly, Juan Korma arrives, Sakin Kamshu for aiding Phoenix all this time, and that's when a familiar face appears as well, and it's Edward, edgy baby. Edward basically scolds Juan Karma for being so enraged about her lost perfect record, and Gumshoe will be safe from Juan Karma's clutches for now, that is. So we talk to Edward, and we ask him, about Celeste's profile. So Edward talks about this whole thing, and he basically gives us a missing S note. And there's no solid evidence, but there is definitely a missing S note, and we suspect that Juan might have hidden the note. And there is also the S report that Edward shows us. It says the attempted S note said something about Andrew's codependency. So that helps us a bit, because we just want to unlock Andrew's Cyclops. So that helps us in a lot of ways. So we also show Celeste to Matt, but it just doesn't work. So yeah. Anyways, we move to the hotel room again, and we find that One Karma Andrews just finished talking, and she shows us how she knew where Gumshoe is, and it's a transmitter apparently. And when One Karma leaves a room, we present Matt's profile to Andrews, and she was talking to be his manager, and we're able to get a question about Matt's motive for murder. So she grows defensive and quickly shuts down the conversation, which means the Magatama can be used now. So Magatama, when we use it, the first thing we do is present the magazine clipping, and then right after that we present Celeste's profile, which breaks down one of the Cyclops, and basically says that before the S, Celeste wrote another S note, and Andrews met Juan to find out who more about the note. Andrew denies the importance of the notes, and then we present the S report where the S note was lost. Andrews talks about Juan since the police suspect that he hid it. So another Cyclops gets broken, and then she still doesn't admit anything. So we just show the attempted S report, which makes Andrew looks like a strong, independent woman, So that basically breaks her, and it basically shows that Andrews always looked up to Celeste, and when she died, she basically fell apart. Andrews fell apart, and we get a Cyclops broken again. So we just don't have anything to do from here. We just tell Andrews that Celeste's note went missing, and Andrews would do anything to get the note from Juan, even attempt murder. So the Cyclops is broken. So we ask for the motive of murder, and Andrews basically admits her insecurities, and she was scared by the death of her mentor, and would go to great lengths to find note and return. However, she says that she would never kill anyone to get the note. We promised her that we won't tell her about her insecurities that anyone else. So, Pearl notices something else as well. Andrews has been playing with a card in her hand. Andrews says she found it in a purse after the crime, and it looks like a picture of a shell on it. So that happens. We are right now in no situation in any way that we can do anything, but we do get another switch scene where Maya finds the similar note that Andrews was playing with. Is this an indication that Andrews might be the killer? Could it possibly be Andrews who set up everything? We'll know soon. So we begin our trial. Before trial, basically what happens is the killer sends us a present, and the present is that One Karma gets shot. Oh boy, here we go. Right. So the guy who is in the stand is edgy, baby. It's edgy once again. Let's go, baby. So Gumshoe starts off with his testimony, and he talks about the bare facts of the case. It's basically the case, and we get Juan's autopsy report from it. It's not really that important. We also found Juan's fingerprints on guitar case, and that's about it. There isn't anything important and anything else that's important. I'm just gonna glance to everything quickly because I think I'm already over 2 hours on this video and I don't want to be late. Go even further beyond on the video. So we asked Gumshoe why he would arrest Matt, and he says that there was a knife that basically was at the gate water, which means that there was a premeditated murder that Matt did. But well, it's weird. So this is around a time where we start to like get into crazy parts, alright? Because now it's so bad that even one bad move can end your game. So make sure to constantly save, because if we can't counter Edgewood's claims here, well, things are gonna get crazy. So we are asked to prove that how is this not a premeditated murder, and we obviously present the wine glass which was on the scene, and if there's a complete mess due to struggle and everything that as Gumshoe mentioned, then the wine glass should have been broken or something, but it was full, it was filled, and then Edgeworth says that he sees no problem with the scene because it was a wine glass set by Adrian Andrews. It was said by the woman who discovered the scene, and he suspects that she set it down after the crime without thinking. And when asked if we agree, we say there's no way. Andrews could have. Oh my god, I burped again. Holy shit. This video has a lot of burps and a lot of coughs and a lot of, I don't know, sniffings. Andrews could not have set it down because it was probably someone else. And this says they found Andrews' fingerprints on no one else's. And that's really an important clue. And then we get Wendy on the stand, and well, all she says is that there is a person wearing a jacket, and it was Ingrid or Matt Ingrid or whatever. That's the only important thing she says. So he was wearing she basically says that he was wearing this flashy racing jacket when you press some of the statements, and we can present the jamming ninja button on the statement, and the button was caught on Matt's nickel samurai costume. So if Matt was wearing a jacket as Obak saw, then obvious question comes, how the hell did it get into his costume? So Obak changes her testimony. Well, we press on Obak's testimony, but really we don't get anything of that interest. So we just present the knife to Obak in one of the costumes. I meant to say one of the statements that she says that about he must have worn the nickel samurai costume when stabbing poor Juan. There's a contradiction there actually. So yeah, there's a massive contradiction. What's the contradiction? The knife. If Matt went to Juan's room without any intent, then he might have not brought up his knife. And if Matt was wearing gloves, then there wouldn't be any fingerprints on the glove. I mean, knife, not the glove. So real killer most probably set this up to mislead us. And if anybody asks why, it was to frame Matt, obviously. And after a conversation, Obak will admit she was waiting for someone other than Matt. So other than Juan. So when asked who, then we can present Adrian Andrews, because there's this big secret, and the big secret is obviously that the whole AA and Juan thing, right? Well, turns out that's not the case. So the secret information we get is that, well, it seems that there's somebody with what's it called, the costume that appeared there. So yeah, we've pressed on the statement, this is a top secret, nobody else but you and me know it yet. And Obag says Obag doesn't want to talk about this information, so we choose to present evidence, and that is Laura's camera. Laura's camera kept her notes in her camera case, which Obak happens to whip out during her rant. And Holbeck now admits she took Laura's information because she thinks Laura was working for Matt. So Holbeck wanted to get information. Well, Holbeck looks very sorry, but I pull a pile of more pressure on her because she's really annoying. Holbeck said she took the information, but she is lying, and she took something with it. When asked about what represent Laura's camera, and Laura said that she had a case containing both the information and the camera, and she also said that both disappeared on her. Oba gives in the show using and shows the camera, and the court takes it in and investigates it. They find a relevant photo and that nickel samurai heading to Juan's room. But there is something strange about the photo. When you look at it, there's no socks, because usually Nickel Samurai has the socks, but this costume is too long, which means somebody else was in the costume. So again, we have to save, because otherwise we're gonna get wrecked. It's a one shot, one kill thing. So we have to show who this person is in the costume, and it's obviously Adrian Andrews. Now the judge wants to basically have this trial adjourned for the next day, but well, we can't have that happen because we have to find a not guilty verdict today itself. So Edge, this time Edgy, our boy, he comes in clutch, he saves us, and he's like, you know what, I got you, fam. I bought AA with me right here, right now. And that's what happens. So Edgeworth basically calls AA understand, and she is finally here to be questioned. Now to basically say what happens throughout this whole thing. All right, I'm just gonna skim through this. It's gonna take too long otherwise. What basically happens is that Andrew sets everything up, every single thing that happens. Like everything from the minute detail of everything. I thought this case was going to be over in one day, and I definitely thought this was not the case, man. This case couldn't be over in one day. There's a whole finding the killer, finding the killer, and then there's also like finding evidence and stuff and everything like that. Like Maya wasn't still in our possession, and we are still trying to rescue this guy. So there's so many questions that were unanswered, and so many questions that was just, what do we do about the situation? Well, it seems that I was right. This case will be adjourned for the next day, because all we get through this conversation is that AA set everything up, but she didn't kill Juan. Juan was already dead by the time she made it there. Oh boy. This is gonna be something. This case is gonna be something, alright. Let me tell you that. We're gonna go into the next day and hope that Maya is safe. Well, for that case, in case whether Maya is safe or not, I'll tell you what happened in the Maya's case. Maya gets out. Maya basically unlocks the door, goes out, but like when she tries to leave, the killer finds her and just takes her away. That is what basically happens. Oh, and we move on to the third day now. Everything is falling apart right now, and we don't know what's gonna happen, and we're worried about Maya. We even tell Edgeworth about everything that is happening. Things are looking kind of grim, if anything, I would say. Oh yeah, I totally forgot to tell you one more vital information. The killer. Edgeworth recognized the card that she was spinning. A was spinning, and he recognized that it was the killer's card. So yeah, Edward tells us about that as well. We moved to Hody Clinic next day to check on One Karma, and it seems like One Karma is still stuck up on like defeating us and taking revenge and everything. Well, oh well, things will be whatever. Anyways, again, I'm skimming through all of this. We will move on to the detention center right after this, where we won't see Matt, but one of the jailers gives us a note saying that Matt has something very important to tell to us, to feed his cat near the Gatewater Hotel, and Matt gives us his note. So we go to feed his cat, and this cat is gonna be really important. So yeah, His cat's name is Shu, by the way. Like, not Japanese Shu, but the English Shu for all the weebs out there. Anyways, moving on. We move to the hotel lobby. After that, we get the letter of introduction from Edgeworth, and this will help us go past Old Bag, who's guarding the stuff, but Old Bag will be after our asses as well. We check every corner of this, but there isn't anything important that is happening until Gumshoe arrives, who's now working with us because the police department fired him for some reason. Yeah, he's the one capable cop, and you fire him. Good to know. But he gives us bug sweeper, which basically can detect any kind of stuff, I would say. And well, why would I want a bug sweeper, you would say? There is a good reason to why I would want a bug sweeper. Because when I was checking in Juan's room, that killer called me. Yeah, the killer called me, and the killer said that, well, if you want Maya alive, we should find a way to get a wording not guilty tomorrow. And the voice started getting staticky and everything. And that's most probably because, well, there is something that's bugging. No puns intended. Anyways, Gumshoe gets us the bug sweeper, and we start to pan left and right, checking on where this could be. And the bug sweeper points towards the giant teddy bear's eyes, apparently. So Gumshoe rips the eyes while Pearl makes some funny comments about it. And then we get a camera, a transmitter, and a stuffed bear. Those are the three things we get from there. So Gumshoe decides to keep the camera and transmitter to find out who bought those things, and that's about it. The stuffed bear also, who bought those things. So this will help us like get onto the real killer. So yeah, there's all. This is gonna be an interesting case, all in all. So we go to the detention center. Now our dots are quite weirdly in a bad position. Oh, things are going to be something. We ask Matt about Matt's secret. Hoo-hoo. There are 5 Cyclops over there. This is gonna be quite interesting, isn't it? This whole case is quite interesting, all in all, because Matt does have a secret. We also move and talk to AA, and AA basically has a Cyclops as well about a whole revenge thing. So we'll move to that as well, but we don't have enough evidences to actually put any name on anybody. So we move around, get some more information around the people that we talk to, especially Will Powers, who talks about the S notes. And then we move to our office where we meet Gumshoe, and Gumshoe basically says that there's a credit card received, which basically shows the cost of the stuffed birds, 3,800. And as you predicted, the camera was dead end. The spy camera, transmitter, and stuffed bear all get back into the code record or the inventory that we have, and also we get the credit card receipt as well. So it turns out Matt bought the camera and recorded it in Juan's room. Ooh, things are getting worse and worse. So we present Magatama to Matt, and let me tell you, boys, after we unlock the Magatama, by now you already know what we do in Magatama. Let me just tell you what happens after we unlock. Ooh, Matt pulls his hair, and he just pulls back his hair, and he goes like, "Look at my scar, dude. I'm a baddie." Like, wait, we're saving a criminal? My voice is literally what it sounds like. Like, we're saving a criminal? It turns out he doesn't trust the killer, and he did all this so that he could tape him and even blackmail him if he wants to. This is not what I was expecting. Man looked like an innocent baby, and well, he did hire that killer, the assassin. Yeah, that killer is an assassin apparently. If you guys, I mean, I didn't say it, but he's an assassin who gets hired by people to kill people. And Matt hired him and even made him kidnap Maya, so that he didn't make him kidnap Maya, but he basically, it was It was basically what's his face, the killer's assurance that he'd do it, but holy shit! What? What? That is so what? Unbelievable, dude. So, we moved to Matt's living room. Actually, no, we moved to criminal affair department where we are talking to Edward about all of this stuff, and Edward is like, "Now you see the situation, dude. Do you see how bad the situation is?" And like, yeah, I see. I see how this situation is. Anyways, we received the transfer receiver and gives a big clue, and that big clue is meow. So we understand where the guys are, and we quickly make our way to Matt's room where we find a teddy bear near this door, which we pick up obviously, and it gets added. It's basically a figurine, and we break into the room, but just there's nothing over here. We move to the wine cellar, and there's just a photo, Celeste's photo, and that's about it. So we return to the detention center, and there's a last thing to do, and that is to question AA. We use the Magatamo on AA, and we come to know that she framed Adrian because Adrian. What? She framed Matt because Matt and Celeste were apparently lovers, and Matt didn't want to ruin his. He never acknowledged the fact that Celeste was his lover, and he always used her. And during this, Celeste moved to Worldwide Studios where she met Juan, who called off a wedding Celeste proposed to after hearing the news. So Celeste lost all hope and basically committed DS. Well, that was sad. Okay. It's not as sad as the previous case, but it's still sad to know that she did all this and she wasn't partly involved in the crime because she was just doing this to frame Matt, and Matt was actually the killer. So technically she's framing a killer. Next day, we get the nightmare from our first scene that we get from this game. Crazy. I thought that I somehow resetted the game, and I was just like, wait, I saved the game, right? That was crazy. Anyways, we meet Powers again, and Powers talks to us. Powers basically gives us a bit of clue in on stuff, and he really doesn't add much. We're just trying to stall time now. So you see, like, everything we're doing, we're just trying to stall time all in all. That's the thing. Because up until the end, until I would say the killer appears, even when the killer appears, he appears on the radio, obviously, in the second half of the case. Like, usually I would go through each and everything of the case, about the case, right? So here's the thing. The case itself, this has two endings. I went for the good ending, obviously. I didn't go for the bad ending, but the case itself has two endings. We'll get to that as well, but the first part of the case is everything about stalling. Nothing else. Everything you do, save before you do, and just stall for as long as you can. Because remember, you're trying to stall until Gumshoe finds out where Maya is. We know that he's after the killer, and obviously the killer appears as well, and even then Gumshoe's pursuing the killer. So we know it's just about stalling. Even in the second half, when the killer appears over a radio transmitter, yes, he appears over a radio transmitter trying to frame AA, but like we basically like trying to create a miracle over here. That's about it. So let's just talk about the two endings, right? The good and the bad ending, shall we? Like, you keep on stalling the time, and I like that you're stalling time, and they're also good and bad ending. So the good and bad ending. Now, I looked up what the bad ending was, and if you present something other than the killer's profile, like the videotape, and also why Matt wanted to blackmail us. So the judge will just hand out his verdict, and Matt will be found not guilty. So what happens is basically we just leave this place and just like, yeah, we just leave everything. So basically, like, I would say, like, you just leave everything. AA gets convicted and Maya is released, but we never see her again, and we think that this so-called miracle never happened because it never existed. So we never believed in miracles ever since. And obviously, Maya never saw us again because we never sided with the truth. We did this all to save her and never believed in the miracle. So if you do believe in the miracle, well, one karma is there in time, and one karma brings all the evidence. It seems like Gumshoe also, yeah, let me just bring that up as well. Gumshoe gets into an accident, so Edgewood brings out one karma who has Gumshoe's thing, and tells her to pursue, what's his face? I forgot his name, Gumshoe. Because she has a tracker, right? So she just pursues Gumshoe and gets all the evidence in. And that's when we present the killer's profile. Then we are asked to show evidence to the witness, and we present the videotape. So the killer will be called one last time, and then we ask him why he went back to his hideout to record a tape, and the killer says he was told that to protect his client at any cost. So we ask him if he saw the contents of the tape, and the killer says he hasn't, and he is told not to. So we revealed him that the contents of the videotape are really the killer's assassinating Juan with Juan's scarf. So basically, we just tell him that we wanted to blackmail him. So, Matt wanted to blackmail the killer, which means that Matt basically broke the rule, which also means that Matt is not innocent, which means he is guilty. Yes, this is the first case where we actually plead guilty with our guy, because holy shites. I can't tell you that how cool this case was, alright, because I skimmed to it so quickly because I already think I'm like past 2 hours, 2.5 hours or something. But holy, this case all in itself is one amazing case. It's so well done, and you never know that you're not actually defending somebody who's not guilty for what they've done. You think your client is not guilty because even at start it provides the information that, oh, the client is not guilty. When you use the Magatama at the start, you can't see anything. You don't see Cyclops. So you obviously think your client is not guilty, and you want to prove that he's not guilty. Well, it's a surprise because he's guilty. He did not commit the crime, yeah, but he paid an assassin to commit a crime that he wanted to happen, and that's what happens. And at the end, we'll present Edgewood the whip after the credits, and we give him and we send him to meet what's her face? I forgot her name. One Karma, and this is really wholesome scene with One Karma and Edgewood just like chilling around, and One Karma saying that she'll be back, and the ending showing this Phoenix Wright, Maya who drew Phoenix on the killer card. It is really cool. And then One Karma is like, I'll be back and I will defeat Phoenix next time. Like, I'll defeat him next time. Here, and she also learns a whole lesson, which is pretty cool to me because it's a character development all in all. I can't help but be happy for how it went out in the end. Well, I know that at one point in the game, Phoenix does lose his attorney's badge. Might not be this case, but the next game most probably, because this whole 3 trilogy is ace attorney. So he's supposed to be an ace, right? He's supposed to win every case. Even though he didn't win this case, he actually proved why, and what made Matt guilty. So he's supposed to get justice for all. That's what this is supposed to be. Next one is trials and tribulations, which most probably means that Phoenix might lose his badge in the next one, or maybe in the later ones. I don't know. At some point he does, I know that. Well, this was a fun game, all in all. It was most probably my favorite Phoenix Wright game out of the 3 yet. I haven't played the third one, Trials and Tribulation. I do want to play Trials and Tribulation, so that's gonna be an interesting game as well. So when I get to that game, that'll be most probably next month, end of the next month or start of March, most probably I will play that game. I wanna really know what's the next game after that, because I'm pretty sure I will be excited to play whatever the next game is after that. I don't know if it's on PC, but I'll find a way, one way or another, to play that game. This has been a journey, I will say. I recorded this game for 4 straight days because I always want to know what's happening in the next case, and well, it was fun. Anyways, this was great. These great 4 cases were great. Next week, I'm not sure what I'm gonna record. I'm thinking the first part of Call of Duty, get away from more from strategic stuff that I play every week. I want to move a bit away from that. I would have done Age of Wonders, but Age of Wonders will take me some time. So I'm thinking just do Call of Duty one, the very first Call of Duty. I want to go back to the days like 2003, I think, so the first Call of Duty released, and I want to play that and then move on from there, because I also want to go through Call of Duty series, which is gonna be pretty fun to play. Well, not the new ones for sure, but the old ones starting from the first one. Up until I think so Black Ops. I think so up to Black Ops I wanna replay all the Call of Duty games on my channel. So that'll be another series that I'll be starting next week, most probably, or this week, depending on whenever I'm done with the video. My next video, but I promise, is gonna be Call of Duty. I still want to do War Hospital. I'm learning that. I'm learning that game. It's kind of tough to play that game. I don't know when it'll be out. It might even take 2 months for me, because I'm also playing other games by side. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Next time around when I come, I'll be seeking you in a shooter, an old FPS shooter, Medal of Honor style old FPS shooter. Until then, peace out, boys.